Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Travis Griffith, the Chief of Police here. Blessed to be the chief, and sorry for such an early morning. We try to give a little bit more time for everybody, but thanks for showing up. I want to bring, I ran on transparency and accountability, and sometimes that's difficult, right? And that's kind of where we're at right now. Is we're at a difficult point. I want to make you aware of a situation that we started working on Thursday, March 13th. We were notified of a non-involved third-party individual of an inappropriate relationship between staff at the Lakeview High School. In the course of that investigation, as always, we contacted the Crimes Against Children unit for the San Angelo Police Department. They responded and started an investigation. In the course of this investigation, it led to a teacher, Abraham Gonzalez, 24 years old, is a teacher at Lakeview High School. That concluded with criminal charges that we'll be releasing at the conclusion of this. Those criminal charges, an inappropriate relationship between a teacher and a student, and he was arrested by turning himself in at 5:30 this morning. During the course of that investigation, we learned of a San Angelo Police Department officer that had also communicated with that same victim. That prompted an internal investigation with our Internal Affairs Division, as well as the continued criminal investigation. We like to use other agencies, and in this case, we contacted the Tom Green County Sheriff's Department, who also works directly with child crimes in the county, and they are going to be reviewing this. At this time, the officer has not risen to any action that is criminal. I'll make that clear. And we're not going to be releasing his name at this time because we're doing an internal investigation into the nature of any alleged wrongdoing. If the Tom Green County Sheriff's Department concludes with anything, then we'll update that if they come to any conclusion. But at this time, there's no indication of a crime that has occurred. We do hold our officers to a high standard outside of legal, and if we found wrongdoing there, then we'll take appropriate action. We've also been in contact with the district attorney. So the district attorney will also review the findings of the Tom Green County Sheriff's Department to make sure that we're showing transparency in everything that we do, so that upon the completion of any criminal case, that there's anything wrongdoing, I guarantee you we will hold that officer to account criminally. We have a civil process we go through that is internal affairs, and if there's been wrongdoing to the point of discipline, then we will do so. I just want to be open and clear that first and foremost, what's important is our kids, right? We will keep children safe, and we will not hide things. We will not sweep anything under the rug in this administration. The school district feels exactly the same way. The sheriff is in agreement that there's nothing that we will do that is not going to be anything above par, and that is going to be done to the utmost investigation, even that above that of what a normal citizen would get, because we hold officers to another level, right? Rightfully so. With that being said, the sheriff's office will hopefully have some further findings for us, and we will be moving as quick as possible because we want to make sure that there is any wrongdoing, that we find that quickly, and if there is any, just like in a criminal case, just as more important to find that an individual is innocent that they are guilty, whether that be this teacher or some regular citizen or an officer. We do that in all cases, and so we try to get that done as quick as possible. And I will take any questions, and some of those questions will be limited. I will say that the officer was immediately placed on administrative leave. I think that's probably a good point to make, is that in the course of as soon as we found out, just due to the nature, that does not indicate wrongdoing. That means that we place them on administrative leave because of the nature of any allegations. And even though it might not be listed as criminal at this point, we want to make sure that we double down, because our investigators, which are some of the best in child crimes, they get some of the best in training, and they have some of the best experience. Their early indication that there was no criminal wrongdoing, but we're getting an extra layer added to the sheriff's department side to make sure, right? That's for transparency and accountability, and make sure that nobody's cutting any corners. That's the extra that we're saying we provide for an officer. And a lot of times we would have already moved on because there was no indication of criminal wrongdoing. But we want to make sure that an officer, if is doing things that arise to criminal level or to conduct that would be termination level, that we're not going to leave them in a position where they could possibly be causing more additional harm to others. So that's why we do that. Also provides for an easier, smoother transition for investigations to take place because they're not in any position where they're being held up by their work. So I will take any questions.
How was it found out? Was any of the reporting apps used?
I won't get into some of that because I don't want to deter people from using apps or reaching out to teachers, but it was a third party that initially provided that information to staff. I want to thank you, and I want to stress as we close out, just because someone's been placed on administrative leave doesn't mean that there's any wrongdoing. It means that we're going to do our due process with that. They are afforded due process. Any time that it does rise to criminal, we will hold another press conference. If it's anything that's done internally that we're going to be looking at action, whether that be termination or suspension, we will probably do that with a press release because at that point we've exhausted our means knowing it's not criminal. And when we're dealing with employees, we're going to make sure that we handle those employees appropriately, but we're not going to have to air out all that laundry depending on what the conclusion of the investigation is. All right. Thank you all guys very much. God bless you all.